This is not a conscious versus subconscious, battle. This is bringing the awareness non-judgmentally, getting curious. Okay, this is what it is. I wonder why. Hey, beautiful. Welcome to Naturally Empowered Living, your safe space to guiding you on your unapologetic self-awakening journey. This is your weekly sanctuary for waking up from autopilot and transforming the way you approach life through the power of meditation, energetics, and root cause therapy. It is my mission to help you heal unprocessed emotions and release stuck energies by alchemizing your struggle cycles into opportunities for deep self-love, awareness, trust, and connection, to return to your innate essence of being, stepping back into your energy of alignment. Because here, we honor all parts of ourselves, the messy and the magic, the shadows and the light, embodying all parts that make you, you. So if you are ready to get to the root of cultivating real change, get cozy, grab your journal and maybe favorite crystals, and let's discover our power within together. What is up, friends? Welcome back to another episode of the Naturally Empowered Living podcast. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I don't think I've ever recorded a podcast episode this early in the morning with my kids home. They are playing in the other room. We have a whole new different energy to the show today, and I'm here for it because this is life. And this is, of course, like an avenue that we always have to navigate. And this is something that we always have to course correct or pivot or, just be okay with things not going as quote unquote plan. And personally, within our life, like we've just been so busy lately, but busy is not even the right word. Just like random things popping up and in all good ways, but just completely throwing us off our normal routine, normal schedule. And I've realized, through my reflection and meditation, that I'm at a crossroads personally in my capacity. And that's the best way that I've been able to put it. I'm at a crossroads in my capacity, and I've been doing some work on, one, being aware of it and like allowing that clarity to come in of like, what do I exactly mean by this nervous system capacity? But then also doing work and expanding that capacity to raise my baseline. And I want to share about it. I want to share how I have been rewiring, how I've been bringing that awareness, how I've been expanding. And it's so awesome. And I just feel that this could be put in place in any aspect of anyone's situation, anything that you have going on, just practical tools to shift your energy, to elevate your energy when you're feeling stuck or when you're feeling at a crossroads yourself. Because our nervous system, of course we need our nervous system, right? Like our automatic or autonomic, our, sympathetic, parasympathetic, we need it all, right? However, our nervous system is wired for survival. Our nervous system is wired to help us survive. And that not always means thrive, right? Because if something feels unsafe or overwhelming or maybe uncertain, your system will repel it. Think it's danger, repel. We're going to retreat to our safe zone, our comfort zone, because that's where we know that we're safe and we will survive, right? So a little, education on our nervous system. There's 4 different phases or 4 different levels of your nervous system. And the first being, or they're not in any specific order, but 1 being fight. This is if you're like overworking or trying to control, or like you have just like, it's never enough, or like you're always in that hustle, that grind, that go, hustling hard, because fight might mean your, control equals safety, right? So like if you're in that, struggle of letting go, or like you have to control, you have to do, you have to go, because that to you is safe. You feel that you have that control, that safety. Another is flight. So that might be, like you're running, you're procrastinating, you're avoiding, you're, maybe getting stuck in that endless analysis paralysis, really like escaping the pressures by, researching more, or, I need to learn more about this before I dabble in or jump in or whatever that is. So like that flight is the complete like analysis paralysis, procrastination. The third or another is fawn. So this is fear of being seen. You're hiding your authentic truth. You're kind of laying in the weeds. Fawns, what they They don't run, they lay, they hide. And, that might be you're stuck in that people pleasing, the fear of, making your gifts visible because, oh my gosh, that might mean danger, right? Like what's going to happen, that unknown. And the fourth is freeze or like a shutdown. So that also can be a little bit of procrastination, right? You're frozen. You might be stuck in a self-sabotaging cycle. You might be hitting plateaus. You like have these start and stop cycles. You're unable to take that action despite wanting to. And you might feel like you have a threat or taking that action, feels like a threat. So you're completely in freeze. Like you don't know what direction to go. So you're not doing anything. Okay. So if you maybe we could, go through all of those, right? All of those different phases throughout various parts of our lives, maybe even throughout the same like cycle of whatever we're going through in that moment. You might be, going through the fight, the flight, the fawn, the freeze. And with connecting that nervous system kind of education right there, I just gave you 4 of phases or stages. The 5th is what is in alignment with what I call your energy of alignment. And this is being in ventral vagal. Okay. When you are calm, you are in that parasympathetic, you are connected, you are at peace, you are engaged, you are communicating effectively, you feel safe, right? So how do we bring awareness to our nervous system from an energetics point of view? Because like what I said, like that being in that ventral vagal state, that parasympathetic state, that at calm, that at peace, joy-filled, connected, that's what I like to call your energy of alignment. So how do we merge that nervous system and energetics? Okay. So now a little energetics, little education, let's say, is I want to take the approach of, you've probably heard this before, what you focus on expands. So within your energetics, what are you focusing on? What are you identifying with or identifying as? What are your beliefs? What is going on inside? Because what you are focusing on is expanding to creating your current reality. So energy, it's kind of crazy how simple it is, but then insert the complexity of being a human and you're like, but how do I change it, right? Because just think, like, I was just talking to my husband the other day about using road rage as an example, okay? If you are that person with road rage or someone that has just like the worst road rage ever, and you're like, oh my gosh, like this person, like he's like a magnet. They're attracted to people pulling out in front of him, to just like having the just not ideal circumstances while on the road. Like he's a magnet to it. Why is that? Okay, like what you're focusing on expands, right? Like you're focusing on, oh my gosh, I'm always around like these types of drivers, or I'm always around these circumstances on the road. You're focusing on that, right? So you're going to be drawing more of it to you. It's crazy. What you engage with, what you give your attention to expands. So if you are living in that scarcity or that fear or that resistance or like that anger mindset, that anger focus, you're going to create more of it, right? You're going to cause more of those struggle cycles. You're going to feel stuck in those same patterns. Now, the latter is when you have that abundance, that gratitude focus, that, everything is working out for me. You're going to be presented more opportunities. You're going to have these moments of clarity and downloads and drop-ins of how to, get out of said struggle cycle or, bypass the struggle cycle altogether and have these opportunities for the growth and expansion and all those beautiful things that we, desire, right? So, nervous system rewiring and kind of rewiring those belief systems and those things that you identify with and where you bring your attention to is equaling, like that fast path to getting unstuck or to break those cycles. And this is such a complex topic to like bubble this into, a 20-minute podcast episode. So this is just another way to describe, how to rewire, how to, overcome these blocks. And I want to give you these examples and then give you some tangible tips as to how to do that, because we want our nervous system and our belief system, our subconscious programming to work for us, not against us, right? So another example of energetics at play here. I want you to imagine yourself walking into a room and you could just like feel the energy. It's like negative, oh my gosh, no one seems to be in a good mood. What's going on? I'm here now, and I'm just like feel, people are talking about controversial things, and there might be a little bit of, confrontation, or people like, it's just like this, you feel it like it is a weighted blanket on you, and not in a good way, of just like sucking the life force, sucking the energy out of you. Like you could hopefully, not hopefully, but I'm sure we have all been in a situation like this, right? Now the latter, imagine yourself with the intention, with your energy of where you're giving it, like who you are allowing yourself to be around. You clear what doesn't serve you or bring you down. You set those boundaries. You open yourself up to things that help you feel safe and expansive. You ensure that you have the right people in this room with you to begin with, right? Like this might mean setting boundaries with people who aren't in alignment with you, or having whatever, boundaries that work best for you. Maybe saying goodbye to things or places that just don't sit well with you, or that don't make you feel good. Like your environment isn't just where you live or where you work. It is also shaping your beliefs, your energy, your nervous system every single day. What you give your energy to, what you allow your attention to be in, put that in an environment. Like that is shaping your reality every single day. So if you're trying to grow and expand while living, or, putting yourself in an environment that's constantly reinforcing scarcity, stress, struggle, your subconscious is going to fight against like what maybe your conscious mind is wanting to achieve, right? So how do we bring awareness? How do we shift that energy? How do we help our nervous system feel safe? I have 3 steps for you, and I'm going to kind of intertwine what I've been working with my, like what I shared at the beginning of the episode, what I'm going through with like raising that baseline for capacity. Okay. So we'll get to that at the end. So for you, first, 3 steps to helping bring awareness, shift your energy, and help your nervous system feel safe to be able to thrive and expand and get unstuck or break said cycles. Number 1, step 1 is identifying the belief that is keeping you stuck. Okay, what story do you keep telling yourself about yourself, or your success, or your time, or your, insert your struggle here? What story are you telling yourself? Like what is, and this isn't like a judgmental place. Like this is coming completely unbiased, completely non-judgmental. Just have a conversation with yourself. Like, what is this belief that I'm having right now? Get curious. Step 2 is actively seeking out evidence that proves the opposite is true. So if you believe, I don't have time, look for the proof in all that you do in a day's time. If it's to audit, if you're that systematic type A, do an audit of your day and look at, like, I know it's an arm's length list of things that you do every single day. Maybe you believe I'm not good enough. You can list past wins, or make a list of people that you've helped, or things that you've achieved, or what you've thrived at. Think of like a hobby, like think of a passion that you have, right? Like you thrive in that. Or maybe helping your kids, or conversations with friends or loved ones. Make that list. Physically, tangibly, pen, paper, or just in your mind. Just sit with it. And step 3 is to rewire your subconscious by feeding it new beliefs. So every day, look for proof that time management can be easy, that time can be expanded, and that you are good at what you do. So for me now, plugging in, step 1, 2, and 3. So step 1, I had this realization, which first was like a complete massive breakthrough. Like, applaud yourself when you have the awareness. Like, applaud yourself when you have like this download come in and you're like, oh my gosh, even if it is like something that you've been struggling with, or like it's a quote unquote negative. I don't want to put positive, negative on things, but applaud yourself for having that awareness in the first place. Because when I had this realization, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a huge breakthrough, because I knew it was like I was able to like discern this is 1000% a subconscious limiting belief, because consciously, like I'm ready. I'm ready. I want it. I want to expand this capacity. And so when that download came in, I was like, oh shit, you're right. Like, okay, now let's get curious, right? Step one, get curious. So I identified this limiting belief as I don't have the capacity to expand my business in the direction that it is going. And that was like a gut punch because I was like, I worked so hard to like reach this point in my business. I've worked so hard to get systems in place. But again, this is not judgmental. This is not a conscious versus subconscious, battle. This is bringing the awareness non-judgmentally, getting curious. Okay, this is what it is. I wonder why. All right. So no judgment, no opinions, right? My step one, my identification was I don't have the capacity to expand my business in the direction that it is going. So step two, let's seek out evidence where the opposite is true. I have amazing help and support in all areas of my life to be able to help me, expand, right? I have been planning for this and I'm currently making minor changes in some of my systems and flows to be able to maximize this expansion. And there's, of course, there's so many more, but again, for the sake of the complexity and simplicity of this episode. Step three, rewire your subconscious by feeding it new beliefs. I shifted to time will be provided with what matters. I am open to opportunities of delegating in areas of my life. I am willing to adjust my routines and schedules where resistance may hinder. I'm surrendering to needing to have control. Everything always works out as it should. Everything that happens is exactly what I need. So I hope that you kind of get that gist because step two, of course, all three of those steps, it's a simple practice to be able to identify, getting curious non-judgmentally. Step two is let's seek out some evidence that the opposite is true. Let's start to not give in to this belief anymore, right? And step three is let's feed this new belief to be able to finish that rewiring process. Because a lot of times our thoughts, our beliefs, they lay dormant and then we're just seeing the actions or the external of our reality and we're not paying attention to why. Why might I be responding this way or acting out this way or having this experience? Let's come back inside. Let's come back inside and get curious and connect and identify to be able to potentially rewire if that's something that you want to do or create new belief systems. Gosh, when was the last time we talked about our mindset loop? But this is the same type of concept, right? So I encourage you to sit with this a little bit if it resonated. If the beginning of the episode resonated in a different way, the education piece, those phases of our nervous system and kind of how energetics plays a role in that. Or if really stepping into that 3-step process of bringing that awareness, of rewiring, of shifting our energy to be able to help our nervous system feel safe and our subconscious to rewire itself. Sit with these for a little bit. Take, 10, 15, 20 minutes to just sit with the awareness piece first. Start there. Step one, let's identify. And then just kind of get curious. Play around with the opposites, right? Play around with challenging that belief in a curious way, not a negative, judgmental comparison. We're not here for those emotions, those feelings, that energy, right? We're here for the expansive, the growth, the love, the peace. Let's step into our energy of alignment together. And as always, if you feel called to dive deeper into any conversation that I have on the show or something that you're specifically hey, I need help in this, book a free clarity call with me. Let's hash it out. Let's talk it out. And if this episode resonated with you, I would be ever so grateful if you would share it with someone that you think it would also resonate with. Share it to your social media. Share it directly with a friend, a loved one. Let's make a new ripple. Let's make a new ripple turning into a tidal wave of having the energy of growth and expansion and awareness and welcoming who we are. And not the ladder of staying small, staying stuck, woe's me, victimhood. Let's take ownership because By golly, we deserve to live every day in a heart-centered space, stepping into our energy of alignment, feeling good. Until next week, as always, simply be you. You have everything inside of you to learn your energy of alignment and be unapologetic in who you are. I'm sending my love and light.
Did you find this episode free or empowering? Please read my review. Tickle, boop.
Thank you for spending the sacred time with me on Naturally Empowered Living. If this episode brought you closer to stepping into your energy of alignment, I'd love for you to leave a written review and share how this show has supported your journey. Your feedback truly lights me up and helps others find the space of transformation. And sharing it with someone who might need it spreads the ripple of healing even further. Be sure to check the show notes for ways to connect with me and explore personalized healing sessions and mentorships to deepen your self-awakening journey. Thank you. I appreciate all you are and all you do.